what can we do to help in any way, right? Because I feel kind of cynical about like climate activism, because like as an individual, like what is there that you can do to help these disruptions like actually take place?
Yeah, that's a super important question, and it's so frustrating. People are quite rightly discouraged because it sounds like what options individuals have are dismal, and in terms of the standard story is it's all your fault as an individual because of what you consume, and the only thing you can do to make any difference is to just curtail your quality of life. Consume less and cut corners on your own personal prosperity, live an austere life, and try to get other people to do the same. And it's that's pretty bleak. So and people are quite rightly yeah, don't have children. Oh, it's horribly well, it's pessimistic and it's misanthropic. It means it's sort of an anti-humanist perspective, and and all of that would be justifiable if it were true, but it's completely wrong. It's completely backwards, right? I mean, if everybody cut their consumption by 75%, well, okay, let's say this. Let me say it the other way around. The global recession, economic recession caused by the COVID pandemic, was the result of a 5% decrease in GDP, right? So that's what you get with a 5%. What would a 50% permanent, not temporary, permanent decrease in GDP do to civilization? And we still want to be halfway towards solving any of our environmental problems, right? Because you're only, that's like putting out half of the fire on a house. Well, what good does that do you? It's not sustainable, right? So the people are quite rightly very frustrated by this. So the answer to the question is, what can we do? We have to accelerate the disruptions. That's what we have to do. We have to get to the beautiful future that we all read about in science fiction as kids. That's still true, ultimately. It still is. With the right tools, we can solve every problem. We need the tools, and we need them as fast as possible. And so how can we get them? Well, if you're this is not a group of normal individuals, right? You guys are mathematics graduate students. You're the brightest people on the planet. So you can do a lot more than a normal person can do. What can a normal person do? A normal person can vote at the ballot box, vote for policies that advance disruption and not austerity. Vote for politicians that get it, and vote for your wallet. So adopt, buy an electric car if you can. They need the demand. Put solar panels on your roof sooner rather than later, even if you take a little bit of a hit. Be like California, adopt early, even when you're not. It doesn't make awesome financial sense, because that kickstarts the whole process. And so you can act as an individual, and then keep pressure on companies, whoever you're invested with, if you're invested with anybody, as Heath explained, and then on your policymakers as well. That's what you can do as an individual. If you're just anybody can do that. And then you guys as brilliant minds, you can help with the research. You can help with the story. You can help change people's minds by gathering the evidence, analyzing the data, presenting it in a compelling way, and showing people that the future can be bright. It doesn't have to be dismal, and that thinking that it must be dismal is wrong. And help us understand and explain why, so that more and more people get it. And that is how we get on an optimistic path and a productive path. If you can help in that respect, that's awesome. And then the other thing is to work for organizations that are charting the path forward. So that's what Heath is doing, and that is awesome. So those are the kinds of things that you can do, the folks here, and Dan, your students and colleagues. That's the kind of things that you guys can do. There's more that you can do that the general public can do, but we can all do something. And I would say, sorry, one more thing, and I would just say, in the end of the day, one thing that helps hugely is be positive. Fuck this pessimism bullshit. It's wrong, and it's not helpful. It is not, right? It's dismal, and it is incorrect. So screw that. Be optimistic and get other people to be optimistic around you. Pessimism and optimism are both contagious. Both contagious, and pessimism is it's rampant right now. We have to inoculate people against that, and then infect them with optimism.
A very timely
Yeah.
analogy. In my opinion.
Yeah, I wanted to add something to what Adam said. Just maybe a practical finance thing is just log in or ask your parents to log in their panel of their superannuation or wherever they invested and see where is their money is invested, or if it's to see, if there is an option, for example, invest in some sustainable assets or, clean energy things, just do that. Or if there is not option, ask the superannuation by writing a letter, or, ask them, or just, pull out your money and invest in somewhere else that is more sustainable. I think even $1 would, could affect this dynamic if you put together, these $1 together.
Yeah, I just want to second what Milad said. It's really important where your money is invested, and it is changing the world. It is changing how these institutions think, like superannuation funds. It is changing, and it is changing fast. And so, I think as an individual, you can help speed it. By doing the things that Milad said, looking where you invested and putting pressure on these institutions to change. And if they don't, move your money. And they are getting the message, and they're getting it very loud and clear, but they need to move faster. And so there is cause for optimism. There's a lot of change going on at the moment, even in reactionary Australia. There's a lot of change for the positive. So I think I couldn't agree more. We can't get down at the mouth and depressed about things, because things are changing fast, and that's a positive.
Yeah, optimistic people build the future. Well, I think that's an excellent place to end this event. Thanks, everyone.